Welcome to Some Real Shit Podcast. I am your host, Stacey R., and I am here with Shannon Sellers, life coach, motivational speaker, and advocate. And on today's topic, we are going to do stop limiting yourself and continue on with your dreams.
That's right.
And the reason why this subject comes up is because, as you know, I just took a leap of faith and just said, you know what? I'm going to start a business. And then after I started a business, woo, yeah, I got all engulfed in the podcast. And then once I started doing that, I was like, I'm going to make, while everybody else fell off and they're like, oh, we can't do it. I just decided I'm just going to keep going. And so then just because I started this business, I started, I got my EIN number and I made a big thing about it. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, what if I do stuff underneath it? So I'm like thinking of looking at apparel and I'm painting and then like upcycling like clothes and all that other stuff. And it's just so weird how once I started this, I just kept on going. And a friend just called, I was talking to a friend the other day and they were like, well, where's all this thing? Where are you getting all this information from? All of a sudden you want to create a board game. Where's this all coming from? I was like, I don't know. It's just when I cut out all the distractions in my life, it just started, just wanting to do more and more and more. So basically I stopped limiting myself.
I think a lot of people do that. And they think when you get a certain age, it is what it is. I turned 50 in June. And I said when I turned 50, I was going to be fit, fierce, fabulous, and flawsome at 50. And I had worked really hard to crawl up that hill to get to 50. And honey, I was going to be queen and reign it for a while. I didn't think I was going over the hill. I was conquering on top.
Mm-hmm.
So many times people think that when you go to school and this is what it is. I've been a hairdresser for 30 years. But at 50, I just decided that I wanted to do some coaching. I've been an advocate on and off for a while. But why can't we, Stacey? Why is there? I mean, I told somebody the other day I did a little interview for a launch Joco that they were doing it here. And somebody said, Shannon, if you've been successful for 30 years, why do you want to start something else? I said, well, why can't I? Who says just because I've been successful at something else, I can't want to do something else? KFC was in his 60s, I believe, before he got his first franchise. Mary Kay that did Mary Kay Cosmetics, I believe she was in her 50s. So why can't we? Why can't we have dreams and goals and go after them? Why does it have to be the same repetitive stuff all the time? So if I can dream it and I can believe it, as long as I can get up every day and work for it, I can go for it. And really, I think that as successful as you are and you want to be, is truly upon yourself. And as starting with yourself now, you will work and miss sleep and do stuff much harder and more for yourself than you will when you work for somebody else.
That's true. I remember seeing I don't know if you had sent it to me or I saw it on one of those little memes from Facebook, but it was basically you're working hard at making someone else's dream come true.
That's
And
exactly right.
that will never, like, that resonates with me. And I will never, like, let go of these things um, that hold fast to me because a lot of times I need to remind myself, my friend just remind myself, because we're on this journey to make together, as business owners. And she was like, I had to tell her when she did a business trip, I was like, she forgot. And I was just like, we need to get in that mindset that we are now owners, where we need to keep receipts. We need to like write down when we take business trips that they are now business trips and not just like we're just going to visit, because everything we do is going to be business. And I think that's what scares people is when they think about how much work goes into um, being a business owner. And that's why people limit themselves, I think, is because they get
Well,
scared.
look at how much work goes into working for other people. Like around here, a lot of people drive to Raleigh. So That's like 45 minutes from here. So they're spending 2 extra hours of the day on the road. You are working really hard for somebody else. And I know being self-employed is not for everybody, so that is okay. But if you're going to work hard and you're giving up that much time of your life, why not do it for you? Why not you reap the rewards for the hard work that you're doing? And I tell a lot of people, when you go to work for yourself, you got to remember that at the end of the day, would you, if you were your own boss, would you hire yourself or fire yourself? And that way it kind of keeps you in check, as if you're doing enough. Because I think a lot of people working for themselves, they mentally in their head are working, but they're not doing the actual work to make the stuff happen. And me and you've talked on and off about that, and we get life distractions, but we still seem to kind of pull it back in to keep working. And like me and you talk, like I don't understand the whole podcast stuff, even though I enjoy doing it with you. So I reached out to you so that I could work on something that is a weakness for me, that is a strong point for you. Whereas to hopefully I'll be able to help you on some areas that maybe is a weakness for you. So it's nice when you find like-minded people that you can bounce ideas back and forth off of and lift people up instead of, you know, hiding your stuff and not sharing it.
Yeah, that's an important part, is surrounding. When I was talking to my friend, because I was bouncing ideas off of her about this board game, um, she was talking to me about being around more like-minded individuals, because I was like, people, it seems like people that are around my age, they're comfortable with just, I don't want to say my age, I don't want to say that, because just certain people, they're just comfortable with quote unquote working for the man or working for someone else. And it for me, it takes a toll on me to have someone tell me that I can't do something, or I'm working really hard and I'm not getting any reward in the end of it, but just a, but as soon as something doesn't go right, they're quick to say something that doesn't work for you as a hardworking person. You know what I mean? So the effort and energy you put into your job, as as an owner, you get that reward every single time. And like what you said about firing and hiring yourself, there's times where I wanted to fire myself because I was like, you need to get up.
Yeah.
You need to get up and you need to start doing some stuff. You've got all these projects that you have going on that has a lot to do with your business, and you're sitting here just chilling and crying a river about what downfall you had for today. So, I understand how some people might think it's hard, but I ever since I started, it's just constant rewardment. Every single time, it's just like a constant reward of knowing that I have all these ideas and I'm pushing myself to do it.
I like we've talked about for the vision board. Um, when I did one, I had talked about what I was going to do, talked about what I was going to do, and the next year I was still talking about what I was going to do. But for some reason, when you write it down, or like my vision board, I have right beside where I get ready every day. I've cut out pictures, I wrote quotes, some scriptures. I have pictures of why I get up every day and who I get up every day for. But when I'm getting ready every morning, I just kind of look up, and it gives me a bolt of energy, as to what my purpose is for me. And everybody's different, but I tell people a vision board is like an accountability partner, because you don't want to get up and look at it every day and never feel like you're accomplishing anything on it. And since I started doing my vision board, I have like busted it right wide open. Not everything, but I have gotten a whole lot more accomplished. So I'm not doing so much talk. I'm actually doing action to go with it. And it's a great sense of accomplishment. It kind of makes you feel good. You could almost look at it like a boss that, you're like, oh, I've done that. So you can kind of give yourself a pat on the back. And I make goals that are large, not so large, and are doable, but still push me out of my comfort zone. I think when we're talking about the limiting, I think it is a zone of comfort that people are not willing to step out of. And they get in this monotonous routine of life, whether they truly enjoy it or not, is sufficient and it provides, so they're not willing to challenge for it.
Yeah. And the problem with not challenging yourself is you'll always turn around and have regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that I've had multiple regrets. And that's why I ended up, my friend, the one, Tamika, of course, she did this vision board party and off just one, like I just got like a little, small one that I did. And just
Mm-hmm.
off that one, just because of who I am as a person, I know how I tend to go like extreme sometimes. But just off that one, I started looking at it and I was like, but I'm missing some stuff. I need more stuff on this. So this little small one wasn't even really working for me. And I remember going to Walmart and getting those ones that you use for science projects.
Yes.
And I literally created one for my health. So I call that one for my health because I needed to always stay focused on my health. And I know you could put up like something that just said, eat well, whatever, do this, whatever. But I just felt like that one wasn't enough. It wasn't for me to hold myself accountable for because it was life's checklist. And if I don't have a checklist, I'm not going to look over and see that I was supposed to do this. It's a constant reminder because I had another friend who was like, I'm not that type of person who has not tried to lose weight. But then I started thinking, you tried, but you stopped and you never went back after that. So you feel like you have accomplished something because you tried. But for me, in my mentality, I feel like you have to continue to keep trying every day. Every day, like you get up and you just eat. Like for me, I just had a big bowl of spaghetti right now. But tomorrow, I'm gonna have a salad and I haven't gone walking. I went walking around the stores and stuff. But come Monday, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go for my morning walk. So I have to continuously remind myself what my goals are and what I need to do because a lot of times we'll just let the excuses just pour in. And for me, having such a big vision board, it is something that's gonna like keep me on my checklist, keep me on my accountability. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, you know what? I did do this, but I need to remember what my goals are. Because then, with life, your goals can take different paths. You might think, yeah, because originally I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to nursing school. And then I decided to change that major and I was like, I want to go do this. And then now I want to like be an entrepreneur. So if I continue with the same, like if I have just one goal of just being comfortable, that is my goal, then everything else is going to flow right into it, whatever I decide to do. So that's why I like having a vision board because it's still going to keep me on track. So,
It does. And, everybody's always got an Achilles heel. I like you, like I finally said when I was going to be fabulous, fit, fierce, flawsome at 50, I finally had to say the fit was what my blood work is. And my blood work's perfect. But do I still know that I have enough sense that I need to get up and work on other things? I've been blessed that I have stayed healthy, but I have enough sense to know you lose some weight, your knees feel better, your everything feels better. So I think, like you say, it's an accountability that I know that I still need to work on it. And I think it's a humbling thing sometimes when you can't accomplish everything because life's not perfect. It's not going to work out all the time. But the thing is, instead of giving up, you still look at that board, just like you said, and know that you still got to go back at it. I think that's the biggest thing is not giving up on yourself.
yeah. I'm starting this campaign with my aunt because on her TikTok, her Facebook, all of those, she's like 60 and fabulous. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she's the type of woman where she gets up and she goes hiking in the morning up this hill. And then when she gets off work and then she has some downtime, then that's her cardio in the morning. And then she does like a little bit of strength training, and that's just to build on her muscles and stuff. So she's always on her Facebook or Instagram, and it's always 60 plus, 60 plus. Even she got a comment before where they were just like, you're a liar, you're not 60. And she's like, I'll take that as a compliment, thank you, even though it wasn't meant to be a compliment. So I talked to her about it and I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own campaign and I'm just going to put 46 and not fabulous yet.
There you go.
So yeah, and so I was thinking like I really need to, because I've experienced what it feels like to not be fabulous, to not, and I don't like it. So it's another way of me being accountable for the stuff that I have been doing and not taking responsibility for what I should have been doing. Because in all actuality, I did, after I finished my surgery, I did get back on track and I did lose weight and my energy was coming back. I was feeling good. I was looking great. And then all of a sudden, I got into a relationship. So, yeah. And that started taking its toll on me because it was like I was having somebody tell me I wasn't fabulous. You're on a high horse. You're think you're better than someone else. And I was like, no, I think I'm better than what I was before. I think I started creating boundaries and I think I wanted better things. So someone misconstrued that as I think I'm better than someone else. I think I'm this. No, I created boundaries, limits, and I want to do different things. And so because I let someone in my head, then all of this stuff just went back to my emotional eating and just making myself feel the way I felt when I first started, like after I had the surgery, and I was just like, oh, I can't. But in my mind, after I had the surgery, I was like, I have to, I can't wait because I didn't have a relationship going on, so I didn't have any negativity, and so now I got to go back and put that um, all those encouragements and everything back in my head, and just trying to, disprove all of the naysayers and stuff like that. So I understand about going off your path and having limitations where people create limitations, but we have to like kick those distractions, honestly, because they're only defeating you. Because the person that I was with, he didn't have any um really any goals, there wasn't
Oh,
that
most don't.
goals. Huh?
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. When I talk to people about a gratitude journal or a vision board, they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Dude, are you serious?" A lot of people don't realize what to be grateful for, how lucky. You can be. I'm not too positive to be doubtful on some things, but I am determined not to give up to do better. So, and I'm like, everybody, Stacy's got the same 24 hours in a day. And I'm guilty too. My youngest, bless his heart, nothing comes before him exercising, doing his stuff. My oldest, nothing comes before him doing for everybody else. But regardless, you've got the same 24 hours as everybody else. It is just how we choose to manage it. And I'm like you, some days I manage it amazing and some days I don't. But I forgive myself if I'm not perfect, or nobody's perfect, but if I don't do as well, and I get up with a good attitude to go at it again, sort of like you were saying earlier. I really like that.
Well, I know how people always say I'm not perfect, but I feel like God made us perfect. It's just we chose to be imperfect, So it's like we were born to be good. We were born to do all these good things, but then we're just like, well, why would we do that? Why would we consider that? You know? So back to just limiting ourselves. You notice a lot of successful people don't limit themselves. Like when you look at like Steve Harvey or, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he limits himself to a certain amount of negativity. But as far as success and stepping out of your comfort zone, and even as simple, even if you're one of those people that, okay, I don't want to own a business, but I want to just stay working for someone, but yet they'll have a job where they're not happy in their job and
And if
they'll
you're not happy at
stay.
work, you bring it home.
Yeah, but they'll still stay with their job. They will still stay with their job, and the stress and the turmoil and the unhappiness and everything be on it. Like, I mean, when I was leaving my work, my last day of work, I just remember people were just like, I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to do that. And I was just like, well, when are you gonna ever do it? And they'll be like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, you have the opportunity more than anybody else to do something, because you know what? When you take that leap and you know who you are as a person, I know you get comfortable. Don't get me wrong. I always have like a plan A, B, and C. And it's good to always have a plan A, B, and C, but you know who you are as a person. So you know you're going to always back that up. You
You
are
do.
going to do it best.
And I know Les Brown, and I don't know who he said he heard it from, but have you ever listened to Les Brown talk?
I kind of briefly listened to it. It's just one of those like things on your to-do list to do.
Yeah, I like his story. He come up tough, and I think he had to really struggle a whole lot and lost several things, got it back. But the fact that he had the determination and that he believed that he could do it and spoke that he could do it, even though, like, when he was younger in school, that people told him that he couldn't. I think they had even labeled him like mentally handicapped some, and he had a twin brother because he was adopted. But he just kept going, and I think people see that people that are successful and they just want what they've got, but don't realize the amount of work and the struggle and the falls and the scraped knees. And like Steve Harvey lived in his car. I mean, everybody that's made it up, it's not been an easy road. People are too lazy and they want an easy button of a quick fix of everything in life, and it's just not out there. Because if it is, honey, I'd have had it in bright glitter and tapped it every time, but it's just not out there. I'd be like, yes, yes, oh yeah, it's not out there. So you got to be willing to work for it. But
That's true.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with dreams. Les Brown's talked about, like, when you die, look at all the things and all the God-given abilities and talents that you were too afraid that somebody was going to laugh or not understand. And a lot of times when you do this, your closest relatives and people will not get it, and that is okay. That is totally okay, because they're your dreams, not theirs. They're your desires, not theirs. So if they want to support you and believe it, that is amazing. But if they don't share it all the time, and just venture out and do like what we're doing. I love all my people, but a lot of your friends have known you your whole life, and all your stories and all the stuff. So sometimes it's nice to venture out and do stuff where you don't feel like everybody's judging you for everything you've always done, whether it be good, bad, or ugly, that people can accept you for who you want to be right now.
And sometimes those friends are not going to understand it because they're so comfortable with they're who you used to be. They're not used to that. Because I remember, um, like about 15 years ago, I was going to the gym and I was working out, and I went to my friend's little get together, and it was just a bunch of us girls, and everybody was just like, oh, you lost some weight, congratulations, like all my friends, well, most of them. And then one friend, I guess she couldn't conform to what everybody else was saying, so she had to be the one out. And she was just like, "Yeah, you're skinny, but your stomach's still big." And I was just like, "Okay." And
Feel like don't be
I think it's,
hating.
huh?
You just said, don't be hating, girl.
Well, I didn't say anything because I was kind of caught off guard, but it's sometimes you just got to know, it's for you to know which ones are going to be there for you and which ones are not going to be there for you. But yeah, so that's just the story behind that. But do you have anything to conclude to anyone out there about stopping and limiting yourself and
Well, my thing
trying to
is a
get
lot
your
of times if God has give you the vision to want to do something, um, run with it. Don't listen to everybody else. I mean, don't go out and quit your job if you don't have something, but start working, whether it's reading, listening, getting motivation, getting a coach, writing down lists, and becoming accountable. And sometimes it's just making small changes. It don't have to be a whirlwind, but do something to better yourself each day and believe in yourself. If it's come to you, there is an ability that you got to do it. It's just you got to trust, love, and believe yourself enough to try it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And like you said, don't run out there and quit your job. I mean, I'm a person where like I'm always want to be like when my son was younger, he would never take a step until he knew that somebody else was there to catch him when he was learning how to walk. And it was just funny how as he got older, this is the same thing that he does till this day, and everything that he does, he's not going to do something unless you like, even with me, like he's not going to take any medication unless he knows for sure that I'm reading the description on the bottle before he does it. And so it's like for everyone else, you've grown up a certain way. It's okay to change it up just so you can better yourself, so you can grow and do bigger things in your life, because a lot of your frustration and stress and just you've given up and you've accepted it and you're just like, okay, well, this is what my life is about, this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. It just has to be what you want to do. And if you feel like other people around you are like naysayers, it's because you got to understand and just forgive them, because they're just used to who you have been all these years. And the change, once they see a dramatic change in you, like, once my friends started seeing the skinnier me, like how happier I was, how like I was just always energetic and getting all this stuff done and all of that, they got accustomed to it and they were okay with it. So it was never, they're trying to keep you from that. They just don't know what this new side of you is going to be like. Is it going to be for the better? Is it for, but it's only for you to know that and then for you to show them that. So I think it's best that you, like you said, don't always give everybody your game plan. Don't tell them exactly, because then they're going to give you like, learn from other professionals. What'd you say?
Reach up if you want to go up. Reach up if you want to go up or do better. Then you put yourself around people that are doing that. And just like I told you, another thing, if you do what you've always got, you're going to always have what you've always, been. So you can't expect a change if you're not willing to make a change.
Oh yeah, I always love that saying that you I'm gonna just walk around with it on my t-shirt. That's
There you go.
that yeah, that honestly is like when people give me positive feedback like that, that's always something that's embedded in my mind. And you can only just take the good, only just take the good and leave the bad. The bad is just their doubts, they're them not willing to come out of their comfort zone, because remember, people
Mm-hmm.
are just comfortable doing the same thing, they feel secure. And when you decide that you're going to be like, okay, I've got like $100,000 to throw into this business. I'm going to take caution to the wind and I'm going to do this because I've already done all my research and I know that I can get ahead. And I've already learned, I've gone to the SBA and I've learned how to have my downfalls or whatever. Or I know that I'm only going to take about $10,000 out of the $100,000 to create the business. And then, I still have my backup and my security and stuff like that. so I can fulfill what I need to do in order to get through this whole thing. Because right now, like I said, this, I've said it before, like this whole thing is like such a different high. Because I know when I was growing up, you drink a little beer or smoke a little weed or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is a different little high. But this is like such a rewarding feeling knowing that you have a business and your energy and your time and your creativity is going into promoting yourself as a business owner and as a boss. And you have just a different, it, it smells differently. Success and being a boss, it smells differently. You walk differently, you know, and so I think it's best that people understand the difference before they even like go and judge it because they've not been in that shoe.
I say, if you ain't walked and you ain't talked or you ain't been where I've been, don't tell me where I need to go. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a bad thing, but I mean, you just, and sometimes honestly having no reaction to somebody being negative is the best reaction at all, because I think sometimes they want to get you frustrated, they want to get you aggravated, and so sometimes just putting your blinders on and not letting them aggravate you is the best thing in the world to do.
And if you leave people with their thoughts, like if you don't respond and you just leave them with their thoughts, sometimes it'll give them that opportunity to really think about what they just said.
I agree totally.
Because they see other people who are successful. Successful people didn't just automatically say, oh, I have a rich family member that gave me $100,000 for me to start up a business. Some people started from scratch.
I mean, why can't it be you? Why can't it be me? There is no like paper that says it can't be us. You know, I tell my kids, I don't care how much we do or don't have. If you got a dream and you want to do it, you're capable of doing it. It's just if you're willing to put in the work to get it. Don't
Yeah.
ever let anybody put their thumb on you and hold you down.
Yeah. And the work is not that hard. But
No.
that's, we're going to wrap that up on Some Real Shit podcast. I want to thank my co-host, co-guest, Shannon Seller, for today's topic. It is so awesome to have you on the show, Shannon, because you give me light every time I talk to you, honest to God.
Well, I enjoy it. So I look forward to us working on many things together.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We are definitely like-minded people. And you know what's funny is you're they always tell me like I'm always connected to people in different months. The whole thing. My son is in June. My oldest son is in June. So it's like you're in June. So
Yes.
I know we're gonna go somewhere.
Yes. All right. I look forward to our next go, and thanks for having me on.
You're welcome anytime.
5, 4,